Shalom, shalom. Brakatay, how about Shem Yahweh about Shem Kakadash? Quick update, short exhortation. A lot of Israelites have said, and I believe I even said a couple of days ago, right? And I mean, because Trump said it himself that they was going to attack Iran, right? So what's coming out right now, right? And a lot of people are waiting for it to come on the news. That's what somebody asked me. Is it on the news? Man, it's not going to be televised. Don't they say the revolution won't be televised? Right? So they're already attempting assassinations attempts, right? The special forces and all that are already doing not drills. They're already, quote unquote, carrying out missions over there in Iran, right? Russia and China is involved too. Don't wait for CNN and CBS News and all that to tell you they're ran, by the thieves of our heritage, the thieves of our bloodline, if you know what I'm saying. All media, all entertainment, all sports, all NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball teams, soccer, they're all owned and ran by who? Media, movies, radio, television, film. They're not going to tell you. Stop running, waiting for your oppressors to give you food, or you can just leave and get it on your own. Anyway, point being is, look, this is already happening. We just said a few days ago, and it's going to be a full-blown attack by the first, because the government's going to shut down. I just did a study on this. Go back and watch maybe the last video. I don't know where this is going to go. I'm just going to be short and sweet and out of there, right? This is already going on. Let me play a little bit of this. Not hints. They told them. They got into the first. You got into Monday morning at midnight. Are we coming? It's already popped off, right? Now the reports are coming out that Iran's naval chief, their top chief, right? That's important right there. Right there. Let me pause there. That's important right there. That's the ship right there, right? An aircraft carrier, right? That carries the special forces, right? Now they be on other missions, but that's the same one that went into Venezuela. And if you ever played Call of Duty, they had a 89-0 kill streak. Now, reports are they took out hundreds of Venezuelan and Cuban soldiers, because the Cuban soldiers were protecting the Venezuelan president. They had a 89-0. They didn't lose no servicemen. None. That's what they sending in. This is why Russia sent over the Wagner group. Those who know anything about, or who done work for the government or military and all that, the Wagner group is the equivalent, if not better, than the Navy SEALs and even the Special Forces and Green Berets. They used to go train with them. Okay, here's why that's important. All right, look. So, look. With the last, I think, video I just did on this, right, or breakdown, we talk about Gog and Magog. That's Ezekiel chapter 38, right? Jeremiah chapter 50, Isaiah chapter 13. It's in Revelation chapter 17, right? It says all the nations are going to surround, Babylon and make afraid. They're going to partner up. World War III, Mark of the Beast. We're going to be delivered during it. Matter of fact, let me get some of that. Hold on. I was just reading that, and this popped up around like 5-6 a.m. Right? Right. Let's go to 2nd Ezra, right? Chapter 13. I'll start at verse 30. So when the Lord Yahushua comes back, this is the vision, right? Because the Most High showed Ezra the end times. He showed him here what we live in right now. So it's foolish for people not to so-called read the Old and Old Testament Apocrypha. It's foolish. He gave you the vision. He said, this is what your children are going to be doing. And this was going to happen to them in the end times. That's now. Measure the time diligently in yourself. Verse 30. And he shall come to the astonishment of them that dwell on the earth. When the Lord Yahushua comes back, right? That's, who y'all call Jeebus Christians, which that's another topic. They going to be astonished because he's going to be a big lip, big nose Negro. They're going to be astonished, shocked, like, whoa, wait a minute. This is not what plastered all over the world or in my Bible. This ain't what they taught me in seminary school, right? And this is World War III that's talking about, verse 31. and one shall undertake to fight against another, one city against another, one place against another, one people against another. Remember, the word holy means separate. It ain't about, well, I'm a believer, I'm a this. No, that's religions. The Most High never gave us religions. It's going to be what you would call today race wars. That's in the scriptures. It's going to happen. If it doesn't happen, that makes the Most High a liar. Let that sink in. Right? One people against another and one realm against another. It is physical and a spiritual war. And the time shall be when these things shall come to pass. So it's going to happen, right? And the sign shall happen, which I showed thee before. You better look up what I showed you before, what I showed Isaiah, what I showed Jeremiah, right? What I showed all the prophets. And then shall my son be declared. Then you're going to see who Yahweh is. And you're going to see who the real Israelites are. And it's going to be everyone that's hated. Meaning, though them same Negroes that everybody hate, it's going to be them. Watch. Whom thou sawest a man descending, right? And when all the people shall hear his voice, remember that's Matthew chapter 25, the 10 verses. He going to let out that loud shout. Everybody going to hear it. They going to see it. You're going to see the Israelites ascending up. And you're going to see them missiles and them nukes coming down. Okay? This is what it's talking about. When people hear his voice, every man shall in their own land leave the battle they have against one another. So during this world war, this is what's going to pop off right now. This is what you're seeing. It's already popped. World War III started when Russia invaded Ukraine. Remember, the start dates of the wars are written after the wars are over. It started three years ago when a bunch of us Israelites told y'all this, and I have too. 2 weeks before Russia invaded, I said World War III from the start. They invaded Ukraine. That was the beginning of World War III. Right? This is what's happening. And they're going to fight against one another. And an innumerable multitude shall be gathered together. Right? And thou sawest them willing to come and to overcome him by fighting. Everybody going to be at war. It's going to be World War III. I ain't going to spend a lot of time on this. I just wanted to get in and out and show people. Right? During World War III, they're going to see all the angels. They're going to see Yahweh Shai. They're going to see the elect. We going to get spiritual powers like the Avenger. They going to stop fighting, all of them, and they going to turn around and they going to try to fight the Lord Yahweh Shai. That's why they prepping y'all with these movies trying to call it an alien invasion. That's why they show you the aliens being dark and black and all that. We're going to be in our celestial bodies, and y'all people going to think that, oh, look, they're aliens. Oh, my God. What is this? They're 7-8 feet tall. Well, okay. Yes. We naturally taller and bigger and faster and stronger than everybody in anything. So anyway, my point to a lot of this is, look, I'm not going to go through and read through the rest of that, right? Because it's talking about the Israelites. Matter of fact, let me just go back right here. Right? This is when we're supposed to be measuring the time, right? 2nd Ezra chapter 9. And he answered me then and said, measure the time diligently in itself. And when you see part of the signs which are past, I told thee before, then you're going to understand. So, number one, the scriptures say you got to be keeping the law, statutes, and the commandments just to understand the word anyway. You got to be keeping the law to even understand the prophecies, time, what's going on, period, right? Isaiah chapter 8, verse 20. If somebody speak and it's not according to the law, he says no light in him. That's every single Christian you come across, every single pastor you come across, Catholics, Buddhists, etc. Everyone. But if you get fooled, if you get deceived, the Most High, like, that's on you. I told you where to go to get the understanding and what to do during the end times. I told you who to go to. If I told you, I bought these shoes at Target and you take yourself to Publix and you get mad that you don't find them, whose fault is it? That's what's going on in the world right now. That's why it's confusion everywhere, right? This is what's going on. Okay. Matter of fact, let me go to I believe that's 2nd Ezra 14. Hold on, stand by. Let me get that. I believe it's 2nd Ezra chapter 14. Let me go down. Let me get some of that, because this is when the Most High was talking about Salat, because this goes with what's going on right now. This goes exactly with what's going on right now here in the end times. Right? Matter of fact, yeah, the latter days. Salat. Hold on, let me get exactly the one that I wanted to get up on. right? There it is right there. Here it is. Salakia, right? Second Ezra chapter 14. This is talking about the time, right? I'll start at verse 10. This is the Most High. Remember, his time is not our time, right? 1,000 years to the Most High is a day. So 1,000 years to us, that's one day to the Most High. So you math geeks out there, do the breakdowns. Do the breakdowns on time. You can be on earth for 1,000 years. Most High, like, man, that's one day to me. What you talking about? I invented time, right? Look at Second Ezra 14 and 10. This is when Ezra was asking the Most High, right? Sometimes, like the scriptures say, I think that's Proverbs chapter 10, the Israelites, the men, were visionaries. Our Father is a visionary. The Most High is a visionary. He's the Ancient of Days. He can look to the left and see the past, the right and see the future, because he created everything. We his sons, don't we take on them traits? Don't some of y'all get mad at y'all little sons and daughters and stuff now? You're just like your daddy. And then you complain and get mad. Well, they come from their daddy. Look at the lineage in the scriptures. They come from their daddy. They're going to have some of his traits. You can hate it, like it, or love it. Deal with it. So Ezra was asking the Most High, right? Through the angels, he was asking him, yo, what time is it right now then? They just posted a doomsday clock, and people reposting it like these devils know the Most High's time. No, they don't. They just posted doomsday clock talking about we 80 minutes from it being a work. Man, these people don't know. Watch what he told Israel. Verse 10. For the world had lost its youth, and times begin to wax old. We've shrunk in everything, in stature, and knowledge, wisdom, understanding. We were great. We used to be able to call the chariots just by saying it. Swing low, sweet chariot. Why you think our ancestors were singing that in the Negro spirituals? You ain't heard of no other type of spirituals. Yeah, because we're the spiritual beings, right? Verse 11. The world is divided into 12 parts. There's a movie called The Hunger Games that will give you this breakdown. I forget the white woman, Jennifer Lawrence or whatever, when she was out in that water, in that ocean, and that little person they was trying to say was retarded was going tick tock, tick tock, tick tock, and she was like, it's a clock. This is how you got to look at it. It's an hour clock. That's why they took that out of schools. They don't want y'all to figure out time. The world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10 parts of it are gone already. And a half of the 10 parts. The Most High saying, bro, you know what time it is? It is 10. It's 10:30 to me. The world gonna end at 12. That was during the times of Ezra. The Most High said it's already 10:30. I ain't playing with y'all. And there that remained, which is after half of the 10th part, an hour and a half left, correct? So he says, now, therefore, once this is for the end times, this is the knowledge for us, for the end. Once you come to a knowledge, wisdom, understanding, we giving y'all the warning of a sword coming and what's about to happen, right? I'll go back and watch the prior video, right? Mass layoffs, World War III, mark of the beast. It's here. It's at the front door, right? So he telling us, the Israelites, therefore, you've been teaching, telling these people for 10, 20, some of us 30 years. Now it's time. That's Matthew chapter 25 as well. Now it's time, verse 13, set your house in order. You ain't got time to be dealing with everybody else's house, everybody else's problems, everybody else fears, tears, and beers. You ain't got time for it. He's saying, say, you don't warn them enough. At some point, Noah had to stop. I ain't out here teaching no more. Noah was, I'm building the ark. Where Noah at? Where that drunk? Where he at? He was out here every week. Where he at now? I ain't seen him. I ain't talked to him. Where he at? He was setting his house in order. That's what the Israelites should be doing right now. You still gonna deliver this truth, but we also understand the times we're in. Therefore, set thine house in order and reprove the people. You comfort such of them as be in trouble, and you renounce corruption, right? Let go of the mortal thoughts, cast away burdens of man, put off now that weak nature. Everybody being weak and crying and tears and quit acting like a woman, stop being weak. That's everybody, man, woman, and child. It ain't time to be crying and boo-hooing right now. Okay? So with that, hopefully you few brothers, you few sisters, and all you Akims have been edified. Shalom.